exercise is a fun one. It's where one can let go, explore, experiment, and not worry too much about being wrong. And the main focus is on color, but also texture. So texture is how something feels. Is the leaf silky? Is it smooth? Is the animal soft, fluffy, spiky, scaly? What do these things feel like? In order to explore this in a free and fun way, I'm going to suggest that the learners take their creature for a walk with a line. So in other words, they can take any kind of dark pencil and imagine that they are taking their creature for a walk. And here is my leopard. It's walking around its environment. Get my climb a tree, walk back, and out of the forest again. So the idea here is that my creature has created all these different interleading sections by going for a walk. And in each of these different areas, we can explore different textures relating to our art piece. So if, for example, I have greenery in my art piece, I'm going to suggest you take at least three different greens to kind of explore what they look like if you look at monochromatic colors. In other words, different shades of one color. And you can also take opposite colors. So in other words, if you've got blues for the sky, you might also want to include a little bit of orange. You might also want to have yellow for the fur, for example, so include some purple. And so you've got a range of different colors. The next thing is to explore textures. So the idea in this art piece is that each area, so this is what you're going to challenge the learners, is that each area you're going to use a different texture. And the idea is that the whole piece is going to come alive using different techniques for texture. So for example, with the greens, in this particular area, I might decide to explore hatching. Woo, there goes my color. And in fact, that's a good, it's a good opportunity for me to encourage you to have a sharpener with you, because the sharpener is very important to keep your pencils sharp as you're going. The learners are going to want to work with blunt pencils and possibly get a little bit lazy. But in order to do this work well, you're going to need to keep your pencils sharp. So let's start with this green with the hatching. So hatching, we're looking at lines that are going in one direction. And we can take different greens to explore what hatching feels like. And perhaps our leaf wants to move into blues. What does it feel like if I start to bring blues into my hatching? So there you've got an idea of hatching. The next thing is cross hatching. So cross hatching, you might want to use cross hatching for your sky, where you work towards lines in one direction and possibly a different color or even the same color in a different direction. And so the learners can get an idea of what cross hatching is. Let's explore complementary colors. Here we've got a purple. In this case, I'm going to be working with a complementary color, and I'm going to be doing a kind of a squiggle technique. So in other words, what does purple feel like when I'm doing it with squiggles? And maybe I want to include the complementary yellow and see what happens when I use them together or alongside each other. How do they look and how do they feel? So there we've got complementary purples and yellows. Of course, you could do blue and orange or red and green. So we've got hatching, cross hatching, kind of a scribble or squiggle. And then, of course, you might also want to explore shading. And shading is something where you go layer upon layer to create a smooth and satiny kind of feel. You can go in different directions. Okay, you've got to be a little bit patient. Okay, it's very tempting for learners to want to do shading throughout. You can go backwards and forwards, dark light, but eventually, if you have a little bit of patience, you're going to come up with a satiny, smooth finish. And then lastly, we're going to look at stippling. So stippling is basically looking at little dots. Not so easy with a pencil crayon, but here I've got orange, so I'm using related colors. Let's take an orange and an orangey yellow. And so I'm starting to get different effects using different colors. So that's just the beginning, and they can really go to town and explore different parts of their artwork using these different textural techniques. And once they've got the hang of that, they can move into their art piece. But that is probably going to be in the next lesson, and I'm going to work on the specific items in the art piece in the next video. So that is the first challenge. Have fun.